Runie, I see you enjoying various fantasy books. You might want to be careful there. You would think, wouldn't you? You would really think, wouldn't you? But we've talked about this before. I'm just such a hater. You know, it's actually the same with horror, I think. It's the same with horror because I love fantasy and I love horror. At the same time, I'm the biggest hater of both genres, like literally D1 hater. And if you do not do it right, I will very much so not like it. And I'm picky. Like, I don't even mean if you don't do it right in general, objectively. I just mean if you don't do it right for me personally, and I'm extraordinarily picky. I'm so picky. No, I would say more hater than snob. Because I feel like snob implies like that I think it would, that I would think it's objective, right? I'm not saying it's objective. It's completely subjective. It's just that I have very particular tastes and a lot of fantasy novels do not hit it. When it hits it, it's great. And when you don't hit it, I'm a D1 hater. I'm like, I hated that. I did not like that. So when I tried to get into reading fantasy novels, I just did not like the vast majority of the stuff that I read. I was like, you know, even like your big popular fantasy series, at least the more modern ones, I was like, I do not like this. And I kept trying. I know I've talked about this before. Let me see if I can remember all the series that I tried. I tried Red Rising. Did not like that. I tried the Poppy Wars. Oh my God. I did not like that. What's the one with like the people who can like mold the earth? It was okay, but I didn't like that either. I tried a bunch of the popular ones and I was just not into it. I did not like Brandon Sanderson either. I'm so sorry. That's what I'm saying. I'm a hater. I'm a literal hater. D1 hater. But not a snob, because I'm not saying that I have the objectively right opinion. Like, I'm sure people, I know people absolutely love those books, right? It's just to my personal tastes, it's just not my personal taste. We did win with Terry Pratchett though. I loved Terry Pratchett and I need to get back to reading those. I kind of got stuck because I didn't really like the Pyramids one. It was okay. And then I got stuck in the middle of the one I read right after that, because I'm reading them in order, is the one about movies, moving pictures. And I'm not really into that one either. So I think that's what's getting me. Pyramids and then moving pictures is a little lull. It's a little lull for me. I need Rincewind back. Give him back to me. I don't care about these other people. Name of the Wind. A Name of the Wind I would like to try again. I actually have the first book and I have tried to read it several times and I've gotten like a little bit into it and then not finished it. But I don't think I gave it a fair shot, and I didn't stop reading it because I wasn't enjoying it. Like, I definitely didn't give it a fair shake, I would say. The older disc books are by far the least good. They get better as you get into this world. But see, I'm going in order though, and I feel like they're getting worse as I go on. Like, the first few books were bangers for me. And that's what you guys were telling me, like, oh, they get even better. So I was like, I'm in for a ride because I'm loving the first book. Like, I'm in, I'm sold. You got me. And then I feel like there's been a few, like, since those first few that are really, that one was okay, you know, but but not enough to make me not want to keep reading. I definitely want to keep reading. So I will continue. I might skip some though, because I think there's a follow-up to Pyramids and I don't really want to read it. Maybe if I love everything else, I'll go back and read it. Good morning, Runie. Amazing stream last night. I'm the Runetic that brought up the World Trigger remake, and I'm wondering if you ever read the manga Siren. 16 years after getting axed and causing a slightly rushed ending, it's finally getting an anime. I have not read that manga. Wow. Is it similar to World Trigger? Is that why you bring it up? I struggled reading Mistborn, but love Stormlight Archive series. Different audiences. Mistborn is younger, Stormlight is more mature. That's true. I could give Branderson a second chance because he does seem to be quite a prolific writer, right? And so I only tried literally one of the series. right? So it's possible, it's very possible I might like a different one. So yeah, I think Small Gods was the one that looked like it was a successor to it. Maybe if you didn't like some elements of Pyramids, you might not like that one either. Yeah, that sounds right. Small, because I remember looking at a chart that was like saying like which ones were connected to each other. And if I know there was one that like was connected to Pyramids, and I was like, I probably won't read that because I didn't really like Pyramids.
Wow.
How about sci-fi? I don't know. I'm a hater. I'm a hater. I'm a hater. I'm a D1 level hater. The Expanse, Warhammer 40k, The Infinite and the Divine is a fantastic standalone 40k book. I don't think I've read any of the 40k books. I have read some sci-fi, but I don't know if I've read any like super popular sci-fi. I'm trying to remember of the ones that I tried, because I tried a few there. I tried Seven Wakes, which was pretty highly recommended, and it was okay. I have lukewarm feelings on it. If you guys have read Seven Wakes, I think it would be a very good movie. Sci-fi. You know, maybe I haven't read enough sci-fi. Let me look at my log. I know there was another one that was highly recommended that I thought I was going to like, and it just disappointed me. I'm trying to remember what it was now. And I think it was made into a movie. Oh, The Luminous Dead. That was kind of sci-fi. And that was okay. Okay. Oh, the Fifth Season. That was one of the fantasy novel, like more modern fantasy that I was like, did not like that. Let's see. Oh, I don't see it on my list, so I'm not gonna remember what it was. It was like, it was about this guy and parallel universes, and he's trying to like get back to his wife. Like, I think a parallel version of him comes and tries to take over his life and like insert himself into his life, because I guess in his universe he like lost everything. And so then the original version of him from that universe he's like, I gotta try and like get my wife back. It's something like that. Of course, you don't realize that's exactly what's going on until like later in the book. I thought it was okay. I was lukewarm on that too. I think what it was is that it like, yeah, I know I'm spoiling things. I'm sorry. But you get to this part in the book where there's a bunch of versions of him. And I felt like the book was really building up to that. And I was so excited for it, because I was like, I can't wait to just like see all of them just fighting each other. So I don't know. I just expected this like big climatic scene with all the versions of him, and I was very excited for it. So maybe it was just like my fault for getting like expectations randomly. I don't know. I felt like that's what was going to happen, but it didn't happen. I remember it just being like bland, and I didn't get like the crazy like multiple versions of yourself fight scene that I wanted. Why can't I remember what that book was called though? I know it was popular. It was like recommended to me. I'll tell you what I did like. I did like, if you guys have read anything by Stuart Turton. So I should read more, because I've only read 2. So I read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and The Devil in the Dark Water. And I very, very much so enjoyed those. I'm much less picky when it comes to mysteries though. Stuart Turton. 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 Yeah, mystery. I'm a lot less picky with mysteries, I think. The Devil in the Dark Water was so good. I think I liked The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle more, but I liked them both. Man, now I just want to reread both of those. So, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I guess no, I'm not going to say that because it's a spoiler. So I'm not going to say what I was about to say, but I'll just tell you like what happens at the very start. So I'm not spoiling anything, but I want to hook you into it because I do like it. Is this guy wakes up and he can't remember anything. And he's like in somebody's body, but he's like, I don't even know who I am. I don't remember this. Is this even my own body? Like, I don't know. And there's this party going on, and I don't even know if I can say much more without spoiling it. I'm just gonna leave it there. But I thought that it was very good, is what I will say. I very much so enjoyed it. This one was controversial in my book club because I think I was the only one who really liked this as much as I did, but I liked The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. It was definitely a slow burn. It was like suspense horror, slow burn. I can completely understand why people didn't like it, but I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. I read Cold Mountain, which is like a classic. There's a movie, they made a movie out of it. I read Cold Mountain, and I remember having a kind of funny experience with it because I read Cold Mountain and was like, I hated that. I hated it. It was horrible. That was awful. It was terrible. I'm so upset about this. And then when I got to the book club and we started talking about it, we're talking about like what the book did well. And I had all these positive things to say about it because at the end of the day, it was a very well-written, well-structured, well-paced, characters were fleshed out, good journey. You get invested in them. And that's when I realized I was like, okay, this is a good book. It just made me sad. I didn't like it because it made me sad. I didn't like that it hurt me. And that's why I was like, my gut reaction was like, that was horrible. I can't believe I even read that. Who would write this? Who would read this? Who would put themselves through this? Actually was a very good book. It's like, that one's like historical fiction. Yeah, about the Civil War. It was very sad. Ugh. And then we read The Institute together by Stephen King. I thought that was okay. And we read Vita Nostra. I did not like that. And then we read The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. And I didn't like that either. Should we start book club back? Why did I cancel book club? Do you guys remember? What was it about it that was stressing me out? Branderson, please? 'Cause you're evil? Ruse-tober planning? Maybe that might have been it. I think what it was is I didn't mind reading the book. I think it was then like coming up with the talking points and stuff stressed me out. You know what it is? It stressed me out because I was like, what if we read books and everybody loves them and I don't? I think that's what stressed me out. I don't know why. It's not like I don't critique media you guys like all the time. It's not like I didn't come in hot as a streamer and like on my second stream be like, I didn't like JoJo. I don't like Chainsaw Man. I don't know why for the book club in particular, I felt more insecure about it. I don't know why. Actually, Evil, that anime you really like, it sucks. I'm the only VTuber fan that actually hates anime. That is interesting to me. How do you end up in the VTuber rabbit hole if you never watched anime? I guess you could just come across a streamer. I guess that's possible. Like you could just really like streamers and you just come across a streamer that happens to be a VTuber and you're like, well, this is fun. I guess, yeah. So you YouTube recommend, yeah. I guess I just assume a lot of times when people don't like anime, it's like the art style is a big part of it. I guess it's not for everybody, wow. But I feel like a lot of times people are like, I don't really like anime. I don't really like the art style. I don't really like the animation and stuff. It's hard to say like you don't like anime because you don't like the genre because it's not really a genre. I mean, you can get any type of anime as you possibly want. Mystery, horror, slice of life, romantic comedy, action. It can be geared towards adults. It can be geared towards children. So it's not like you can be like, oh, I just don't like the genre. So I think a lot of people just don't like the culture or they just don't like animation really. And so, which is both valid to me. But then if you don't like either of those things, then it's surprising to me that you would like VTubers. Because so much VTuber culture is anime centric or inspired by anime, right? And then the style is obviously anime. Usually means someone hasn't seen a lot of that type of style or they let their disdain for the fans color their opinions. Yeah. I mean, sometimes fans can be kind of obnoxious. I mean, I get it. I get it. Even as an anime fan, there's been times I've been hesitant to get into a series because the fans are annoying. You know what I mean? That's definitely happened to me before. So, or sometimes I've really gotten into something and then I'm like, I don't want to deal with this fandom. That was me with Haikyuu. You guys know I love sports manga. Love sports manga. I always have. And I really liked Haikyuu, but I did not want anything to do with the Haikyuu fandom. I was like, y'all are bonkers. Y'all are so wild. I cannot associate with this. I don't know what because like, here's the thing. It's not just a Fujoshi thing because like I said, I'm into sports series, and pretty much all sports series past a certain point in time have humongous Fujoshi fan bases, right? So it's not the fact that a bunch of Fujoshi watched Haikyuu that ruined it. There was just something particular about Haikyuu that made a very specific type of Fujoshi go crazy. And they were crazy. They were so crazy. Like, I remember like I'll never forget this. I was like scrolling through Instagram and I was looking at Haikyuu cosplayers because I liked Haikyuu and I wanted to see people cosplaying it. I mean, I still do that sometimes. I'm like, I want to see how people cosplay this. I don't know. I'm going through and looking at cosplayers and it was like picture after picture was just bonkers, insane. There was this girl dressed up as Hinata with like a condom like hanging in her mouth. And then like the next one was like all the boys, but they were like in their jerseys, but then like fishnets and like heels and like thongs. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And it was like several pictures like that in a row. I was like, this fandom's crazy. They've gone off the deep end. I can't handle this. It was wildin'. It was a wild time. I feel like the Kuroko's basketball fandom never got quite like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it did. No, I don't feel like it ever got like that. I don't feel like it went that bad. And I was into the Fujoshi culture for that one because I was really into the Midotaka ship. I still think they're in love. They're in love. They were meant for each other. They're yin and yang to perfection. Yang. So, but I don't remember ever seeing stuff like that. Like maybe in fan fiction, but not like scrolling through Instagram. You know what I mean? Siren is a death game turned time travel action mystery story with a simple yet fun power system. So how about Manga Book Club and more watch-alongs to help put you back in the running for Face Connect's Biggest Weave and another 100 ranking? I think manga's just too hard to do a book club for, right? I don't know. I guess I don't know why not. I don't know. I mean, if we're gonna do a manga book club though, I mean, we should just read One Piece. I think part of the reason it's gonna be hard is because I'm not gonna be able to pace myself. You know what I mean? So maybe if it was like a short, if it was short enough that you could read the whole thing and then we could just discuss the whole thing in one section, I feel like that would be nice. But like, let's say we actually tried to do like a longer series that I'd never read before. Like, I'm going to read ahead and then I'm going to be trying to talk about, you know, the first 50 chapters. I'm going to be like, but I already know what happens in 60 through 100 too. You know, and I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to pace myself. You recently started binging Golden Kamuy. Golden Kamuy is so good. It's so good. The anime is coming back soon. I'm so excited. I really do think that we should watch Golden Kamuy together. I really think you guys would like it. It's so good. I liked Frieren. Recommending Berserk to me, horrible recommendation. You don't understand. You do not understand my tastes yet. But I did like Frieren. Especially if you love cooking or history. I think that's what's so great about Golden Kamuy though, is that it really appeals in a lot of different directions. I say this all the time, but I much prefer a story if at its core, without having to think about it, without having to be into a niche genre, like without needing, like you don't need to be a history buff, you don't need to be a philosopher, you don't need to crunch numbers or think about it really hard. You don't have to be like smart and intellectual and emotional to understand what it is saying. I like when a story at its core is just a good story, digestible, exciting, and good. Pretty much anybody could watch it, understand it, or read it and understand, consume and understand it. And it's just good, blank. And then if you want to put stuff on top of it, you're just going to make it better, right? But I want both. I want both things. And it is completely possible to do both things. And I think Golden Kamuy is a really good example of that. If you don't really care about the cooking stuff, if you're not really into history or Ainu culture, if you don't want to think about its greater themes of war and chosen family, responsibility, the death of culture, if you don't want to think about any of those bigger themes, you can just consume Golden Kamuy. You're gonna know what's going on and it's gonna be exciting and fun. It's funny. It's action packed. Like you can just consume it and have a good time. And then if you want to dissect those layers, there's so much there. There's so much there to think about and crunch in your little brain if you want to, but you don't have to. You can just read it or watch it and it's good. You know what I mean? And that's my favorite type of stuff. I really like when there's both. If you only give me highbrow. If you only give me highbrow stuff, sometimes it just gets on my nerves. You know what I mean? And it's not because I'm not capable of understanding things that, like stories that don't have a super digestible plot line. It's just that I don't enjoy it that much. It's kind of like, it's the same thing. Do you guys remember like in the 2010s? Wow. I feel like a bunch of music got popular where like the singing was bad. Do you guys kind of remember that era of music where like it was like, I feel like people had this impression where it was like, it's about the music, not the singing. It's about the music. So sometimes it almost sounded like they were trying to sound bad, you know, like they were going for like this kind of like folksy sound. But it was just bad. Like it just didn't sound good. You know what I mean? And I remember talking to one of my friends about it. I wish I could, it wasn't auto, it was like stomp and clap is probably, that sounds like what I'm actually thinking about. It was like, I'm not talking about like the rappers and auto-tune stuff like that. It was like, yes. And like the not very melodic either. Yes. It was like, yes, a hipster indie pop. I wish I could remember. I don't know why I'm blanking on all of the names, but I also didn't listen to them because I didn't like it. So I've forgotten what their names actually were. But like, I remember there was one that was really popular and it was a woman and a guy. And like, I swear to God, they were both singing badly on purpose. Like, I swear they were. It was really bad. I did not, basically what I'm saying is I didn't like it. And I remember having this conversation with one of my friends and she was like, she was really into it. And I remember her being like, but it's not about like if the music is good or if their singing is good. It's like the soul of the songwriter. It's like, it's their passion and their soul and like da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, but like you can get both. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of people out there that are like really good at music and they also pour their hearts and souls into it. Like you don't have to pick and choose. Like you can do both. You can have it all. You can have it all, people. But I guess, you know, art's subjective. Maybe there's something about the fact that it was kind of bad that was appealing somehow. I mean, clearly, because it got very popular, and you guys are right, it was on the radio like all the time. I'm trying to remember, there's one song in particular I just thought was so bad. And it was a girl and a guy singing. And for some reason, I feel like they were talking about like jumping out a window or something. What song was that? Now it's actually going to drive me crazy because I can't remember what it's called, but I didn't like it. Whatever it was. We have gone completely off the rails because we have not even made the coffee yet. My head's starting to hurt. My coffee addiction is kicking in. Okay.
My fellow brothers, in the face of our common dangers, in this winter of our hardship, remember these timeless words, as we can.